one.
Yeah, everyone pretty much picking for their own position. The only thing was the priority pick to the Gragas for Loveling's hands, but I mean, OMG's draft looks strong, very competent. They're comfortable on all of these champions. They synergize well. Amazing is a fantastic Nautilus. You've got your disengage, your self-sufficiency, your hard engage, things like that. But just the order in which they drafted, not actually too keen on. They opened up and exposed their hand, allowed themselves to get counterplayed if they wanted to. So that's a little bit curious.
Yeah, it's pretty weird to see an AD carry actually being the last pick here for World Elite, but given the draft order, this is sort of what's shaken out. I wonder what Mystic wants to take in. A lot of his common champions are fine in this matchup. Thinking about his Lucian, thinking about even the likes of his Jinx.
Graves is good.
Yeah, Graves is good as well. Would be just fine here as well.
Likewise, it would give you a mid-game power spike on Graves. So again, you would be kind of the baton to hand to Kassadin into the late game.
And there's the Graves. Mystic going to take a bit more aggressive AD carry into the aggressive Corki, so makes sense across there. And Xie, the star of this team, you have to think as far as carry potential goes in this game, he needs to get big, get going, and carry a game. He's done it before on Kassadin nonetheless, but can he do it against OMG?
Well, likewise, he will have the assistance of Spirit there on his Rek'Sai, and yeah, you don't give Spirit Nidalee, but why? It's her mobility and her assassination potential. Spirit is very punishing on high mobility champions like Rek'Sai that empower his creative gank pathing as well as his presence to be everywhere for his team, because Spirit is everything to his team.
Unfortunately, you cannot ban all of the junglers.
You should against him.
Well, they banned 2. But we'll see if the third one hurts them. He even took one away first pick as well on the Gragas. And that's been the other thing to me that's been curious, I guess. Loveling is really prioritizing Gragas in these drafts.
Yeah.
Like even over Rek'Sai, which he can play as well.
And it's interesting too because Rek'Sai would actually fit more in line with kind of Loveling's identity as a player and that hard, aggressive, find you, kill you.
I don't know. Have you seen Loveling play Gragas?
No, I mean,
pretty similar style.
Yeah, he does the same thing, but it's just interesting.
Well, Shnar there versus Maokai, Xiyang and Aluka in the top side. Loveling back on the Gragas versus Rek'Sai there for Spirit and flying through the matchups. Cool on TF versus the Kassadin for Xie. This might be the most key matchup to watch.
Likewise, in the ADC position, it will be the sub North versus Mystic on that Graves.
Yeah, quickly becoming not the sub as well there for North. Been seeing a lot of him
It's
recently.
Hand injury.
And amazing there for Nautilus versus Conan on the Braum. So really standard stuff for game 1. Have to think that might favor OMG ever so slightly given their recent victories, but who knows? Never sleep on World Elite. That's what I've learned watching the LPL this year.
That's what I learned watching IM. Never discount WE.
Because they can make it and make it big here. And again, really close to the bottom. I think actually the bottom of the ladder for them, unfortunately, do need to make it count here in this game. Points against OMG are hard to come by. We'll see what happens. Let's get on the rift for game number 1. And welcome back as we move out of the mid lane here for OMG versus World Elite. Last best of 2 of the evening, Frostgruen. First game of the night between these two sides, and both teams looking for those points here. World Elite trying to crack their way in a miracle into playoffs, looking very similar to their spring run potentially, and OMG looking to get further into that top 2.
I'm glad that you pointed out their spring run. It was a miracle that WE squeaked into playoffs over Masters 3 in spring. See if maybe the same thing can happen for them.
And World Elite do come up big in pretty long series. This took EDG to 5 games. The only team in that playoff other than LGD in the finals to do that to them, but see what happens here. OMG going to move aggressively through this jungle, get some vision down. But it looks like Corki's in the bottom side might be meeting Graves there. There's Mystic just trying to scout for some vision.
Curious if we're going to have a 2v2 on the bottom side or if we will commit to a lane swap. I believe Maokai has been spotted.
Yep, blue ward's there. Probably indicate Aluka has been spotted, but isn't going to walk right towards that ward on the left there. Just this second. Looking down the early items, actually the only interesting one is Twisted Fate. Cool. Maybe expecting some poke in this lane. Got a Crystalline Flask to start things off.
It could also mean that he's looking to trade directly and really apply pressure onto Xie, so by taking the regen, walking forward into the creeps and not afraid to take the mini aggro when he decides to trade the ranged auto attacks.
Smart stuff there. So OMG 4-man start the cry for World Elite. Just walk in, they're going to take the red buff. Loveling's going to see them. He's like, what is going on here?
Will he get the smite?
Picks them out. Who got it? I think Spirit did.
Yep.
Yeah, he did get the red buff. Actually taking damage now, gets hooked up by Amazing. Is he going to donate it back over? They're going to flash. North gets red buff and first blood.
Beautiful communication. They had so many flashes, but North burns only one, gets the first blood, and that is a huge swing of power away from Spirit.
And I like the early warding from World Elite. The play was adorable trying to take that red buff.
Super cute.
But they got massively punished. Now Mystic going to take damage from the red buff. Corky Brom level 1 though. Cannot be underestimated.
Red buff.
Mystic still taking damage, but red buff could come up trumps. Conan gets snared again. Now the next stunner to Amazing is going to follow in. You really, really don't mess with Brom at level 1.
Yeah, the power of Brom, and more importantly, likewise, the power of Graves early levels with his passive being so tanky. Didn't help that that fight happened on the back half of World Elite's creeps. So not only were they fighting Brom and Graves, who, again, so strong at level 1, but all of those minions.
Yep, and now the 4 summoners are up for World Elite, and there is 1 left. It is just Amazing's flash in the bottom lane. So things could get funny here in the bottom side. Remember, North got first blood, but he has yet to spend that gold.
Does have a bit of an experience advantage because of it, and more importantly still has that red buff. Spirit now back in his own jungle, has secured his blue, but let's see if he gets punished any harder because leveling is on the side of his red, and they could attempt to 3-buff him.
Leveling right now at the blue. See if he walks over is cool. Pushing nice and aggressively in the early levels here. Trying to keep Chia under that turret. Cassidy just fine here, CSing under turret, but Cool wants to apply as much early pressure as possible.
And this is what the Flask is going to empower. More importantly, it's also going to allow him to spam his pick a card without using so many blue cards to keep his mana up, to make sure that Chia's push underneath his tower, which then opens up leveling to move across into Spirit's jungle.
And if you've been watching Cool, he's been pulling red card after red card. Just doing damage and, most importantly, taking up these minion waves here. Chia does hit level 4 first. Cool, I think on the blue card train now is bottom side. Mystic getting a bit aggressive there. Pushing that wave in early on. Trying to strong arm North here. He's actually down pretty significantly in CS, despite that first kill for Corky.
Likewise, Cool is also down in CS, so, you know, spending all of his time really trying to be aggressive and poke out Chia has kind of sacrificed his creep score.
Now Spirit's actually going to take away this camp. Leveling will be here just in time.
Yeah, he thinks that leveling was on his red buff simply because Cool was pushed so far forward in the lane. Now that he has eyes on leveling and seeing that, you know, he didn't transfer over, he's going to immediately, see, there goes, cruising.
Yeah, and
cruising for his red buff.
Really smart choice there from Spirit, despite the level 1 going kind of wrong. And I feel like leveling just should have taken the buff.
Yeah, completely. They had pressure and advantage into that mid lane, so OMG were given an advantage and choose not to punish it.
Leveling there, going back. You can see level 4 doing the leveling thing here, which is maxing that W first for extra early aggressive damage.
Doesn't mean much though if you don't
True.
maximize your efficiency.
Well, let's see what lane he goes to, if any at all. Right now, just a bit of farming for these junglers. Clearing pretty efficiently for both of them. Top side as well, Xiang a bit behind on farm right now, but going to be just fine here against the Nakai. After that first blood, unfortunately, it's been pretty quiet here on the Rift. And
Xiang is comfortable on the Gnar. We talked about how his big primary player is going to be that Maokai, but he's played Gnar a few times. You know, it's kind of hit and miss.
Played Nunu once.
You really like
Nunu.
Great.
It was just funny.
Yeah,
it was relatively smart. I think Lupa on his Gnar was kind of the interesting matchup there. As hook. Just short there for Mystic, who dashes out with a quick draw in time, and leveling. You're on top of a ward, my friend, so it does give up the ghost on that game.
He knows that that's warded too. They saw it warded right in front of Amazing, so OMG not looking very cohesive. Leveling, not invading when Cool had advantage, and again, not communicating the fact that that brush was warded. I
feel like, again, that favors World Elite and Xie. Yep. They want a quiet early game. They're probably very disappointed the way level 1 worked out, but things have really shaken out back to even here. You look up at the gold, first blood there for OMG, but we're at, what, 200-300 gold between the teams. That's pretty much still the advantage that North had, and he still hasn't spent that gold. Yeah,
and Xie has a 10 CS discrepancy on top of Cool, which that's exactly where Cassidy wants to be.
Yeah, you expect to be behind, I feel like, in a lot of your matchups, but doing fine just now is Spirit looking for something. Might go back to that Raptor camp. He does have a ward there next to it as well. World Elite actually keeping good tabs on the jungle here, putting down those early wards.
Yeah, Spirit deep warding entirely into leveling. The only reason why he invaded there was to place that deep ward on the mini golems. Didn't take any of the camps.
Nope, didn't look for the Raptors. They'll take them. Going to go back to Grump here instead. And a Sheen is the first early buy here for Cool, with a Blasting one and a Ruby Crystal there for Xie. So pretty standard stuff for these champions early on.
Does open up more tower pressure. Now, OMG, again, it's kind of been, what is their identity with Uzi and with North? If it's about Cool, if it's about Uzi, but more importantly, it's always about structures, and the Sheen is going to empower that.
Yep, so we saw Pong go for the newer Zonies, which is a bit cheaper now. First on his Twisted Fate for a bit more early team fighting action, but Cool. He's going to go straight for Lich Bane by the looks of things, like the exhaust he's got there as well up against the Kassadin. But other than that, Hex Drinker there for Xiang, Catalyst there for Aluka. Kind of the early items starting to come together.
And we've already seen Doinb go off on Kassadin earlier today, and I actually am glad that you pointed out the kind of the changes, because again, this is 5.13. The AP item changes have gone into effect, although Spirit possibly didn't know. Okay.
Nope.
Kassadin just got a straight buff on the 5.13 patch in terms of his itemization, and I was not surprised to see him picked up. Usually he's picked up as kind of a counter or an answer to Victor, although Victor was banned this game. But the fact that Roa is stronger, I expect to see a lot more Kassadin.
And that's great for She is a big Kassadin player. Aluka, though, going to get knifed into the wall by Xiang. Good damage here. Might be enough for an all-in, but Aluka has his flash, and he's still Maokai. Not going to die. That
said, he will get full control over that top side of the lane, hopefully push that in. And with Aluka not having teleport, it's very punishing.
It is. Oh, I didn't notice that. Nice stuff there from Xiang. Going to keep pushing in. Back to mini-Nar form now as Cool and Loveling clear out a wall for themselves. But I feel like Loveling has been continually posturing for ganks and just getting no one's biting the bait, it feels like. He's going fishing and it's just having no luck right now.
Well, he's also not playing to the side where he has kill pressure. If Xiang's going to be the one who's super aggressive, Loveling should be playing to that side of the map and, you know, possibly setting up a dive. If they were to commit on Aluka being so low health, now he has managed to pot himself up. But the fact that he doesn't have teleport, it would be so punishing. You would immediately have control over the top side of the map and then also a TP advantage to look towards the dragon. So, frankly, Loveling's not playing to the power on the map.
No, not in the early stages at least. He's going to give blue buff, though, to Cool, transfer a bit of power over the mid lane as well. But Xie still working with that 20 CS lead. Now Cool will come in and even that back up with his blue buff. But Gio's doing a nice job keeping Cool in place. That's the other thing that he has to look for in this lane. Can cancel the Destiny if he's quick enough on a Q, but mainly just wants to keep vision on Twisted Fate if nothing else.
Make sure that they know when he decides to go roaming and looking for food.
And I like that ward right on top of Cool there.
Yep.
Just as a result.
Right outside of the mid-tier range, but also gives him vision of a high traffic point of walking in between the Fog of War.
So he's going to battle Xie level 8 really comfortably, actually. Might even fancy some sort of fight. Calling Spirit to the mid lane. Does walk over a pink wall, but Cool has to back up towards his tower.
And again, the CS discrepancy is closing in onto 20 CS between Xie and Cool.
Phage now for North as well, joining that Sheen. So has spent the early gold. Graves with only a Doran's Blade means that Mystic will have to back soon, or he's going to get completely smashed in this lane. But he'll have enough for at least a BF, so we'll see what Mystic wants to do with his early itemization.
I would imagine that he'll have enough for the BF. There we go. And the upgraded boots.
Nice. Berserker is finished up as well. We also have Lucidity boots there for Cool, speaking of those upgraded boots. And OMG make the first aggressive move, timing this dragon with the bottom lane back. Exactly.
And the fact that they were pushed that far forward, that they saw Mystic press his recall button, which, like you said, opens up for the free objective.
OMG going to take it off Dragon in just under 11 minutes. Actually over to North. Loveling slightly off on the smite there, but not a big deal here as Cool's trying not to get ganked by Spirit.
He's playing to the wrong side of the map.
Forced to flash immediately. Spirit will take some damage as a result, but Spirit comes back in again, and that is a dead Twisted Fate.
That said, burning his flash.
Might still die. Loveling going to come in and force this, but don't know if you really want to. Loveling might just deter them from diving.
Cool should have been playing to the bottom side of the lane. His team was on Dragon. That's where he had the numbers advantage. So by playing just slightly to the top side of it, it's forcing him to burn his flash, and now he's completely on the defensive here.
And again, same theme in this game. OMG, you expect them to be the ones that pressure early on, that try and get something happening with the Twist of Fate, with a teleport maybe from Xiang, with it on the mid laner and jungler, the stars from OMG that we've seen play so well in recent weeks to put pressure on. And right now, Waterley are just having free time. Spirit's not been ganking, but it's been making sure Loveling doesn't gank either.
And just power farming it up. More importantly, though, this mid lane is quickly getting out of hand. And again, we talked about the early itemization from Cool, picking up the flask, pushing Xie in, trying to make sure that he has more mana resources so he can continually red card, and it completely backfired.
Yeah, has Home Guard boots now as well, so looking even more now to just move between lanes and look for some ultimates. But right now, it's not being let out of lane by Xie. Will finally get some space, but another nice ward there from Waterly. It's going to spot him if he moves. And Xie is very close to a Rod of Ages.
Oh. Is he going to go around for the Raptors? Nope.
Nope. Not that greedy. Xie will return to the lane, but he's growing that CS lead. Still a 20 CS up. Nice ult there from Loveling. Stuns there as well. That actually might be enough. The exhaust down of Spirit. Roars in with the Void Rush. Loveling now the next target. CS looking for it. Wildcard's hit though. And that's going to disengage the Kassadin.
Beautiful CC chain there to start that fight from Loveling and Cool. Making sure that the gold card connected right after the displacement from the cast.
Yeah, I mean a nice gank for Loveling, but no dice there on that one. Xie will get to go back safely. Buy some more. Doesn't quite have enough for the Rod of Ages just yet. But it's not long now. Kassadin can start the first kind of early power charging period of his build.
Typically you want to get that right before 15 minutes. So he should be just on time, has a bit of a 2-minute window to make sure that he gets the final piece of it.
Conan grabbed up there as well. North going to come in. Damage out from the Phosphorus Storm. You can see the Trinity Force component still doing work here on the bottom side of the map, but it's pretty much even on CS in the bottom half. Just Conan has to avoid getting killed. Shouldn't be too much trouble here. And
continuously Spirit taking charge of the fact that he knows that Loveling and Cool are back and invading and placing really deep vision.
And now Spirit going to come down as well. North forced to use a lot of spells to try and get out there. Luca's going to port down as well. Amazing. Might get tied up. Cool will join in. Ulti there from Conan's going to get a knock up. Amazing will follow. Luca will follow though. And a 1-for-1 trade there as everybody's in the bottom lane.
Bit of a misposition from Aluka. No reason to dive the tower right there, so they do trade 1-for-1, whereas I feel like WE should have walked away with that with an easy free pick.
Instead, it's the trade. It's cool. Takes the bottom CS away. Looks like North wants to back here given the situation. Probably has enough for that Trinity Force now, if not very soon, given the first blood. The Cool's happy to take his farm away from him. Covering the lane, bro. Don't worry about it.
The Gatling gun is all I can hear.
Oh man, Red Baron Corky. What a delight. SGA. Now blue buff in the mid lane. Still working on that roller. North does have that Trinity Force though. So Xie only going to get stronger. He's quickly approaching level 11. And again, I just feel like OMG have not pressured this game at all. We've seen one ult from Cool.
They didn't play to the correct side of the map of where they were strong, especially for how forward Xiong's been. Because you'd think if you just play to the top side, especially post-level 6 with Twisted Fate, that you should just be getting free teleport advantage every single time. Destiny Gragas gank top, especially because Dragon's been down for, you know, the last 4 minutes of the game and now has the 2-minute timer ready for it. OMG just kind of squandering their lead.
Yeah, and it's honestly not that big of a lead. Can't afford to be making these sort of mistakes here. We are early into the game, remember, so still plenty of time for this game to develop in a number of directions. But GA having a really fun time on Kassadin. He's like, you know what?
This is
easy.
Exactly what Kassadin wants to do. He's going to go back now. Pick of his Rod of Ages will be just on time for that. Has a pretty much even footing in CS and has done a great job on deep-warding on Cool. Likewise, so in tandem, Spirit deep-warding on Loveling.
And it's just been Loveling and Cool, I feel like getting tracked in this game by Spirit especially the first 15 minutes. Cool finally going up towards the top lane with Loveling. Aluka will have to be careful here.
This is about 15 minutes too late, but here we go, setting up for the dive.
Well, going to take out the tower. Xiong gets a slow. Aluka forced to run away. Stun does come in. Twisted Advance will dodge some of the damage, but Spirit can't make it in time. Aluka will eventually fall. Gonna make him work for it, but Xiong gets the kill.
More importantly though, Cool didn't burn the Destiny, so he can get back in position with it should he want to protect mid.
And Amazing kind of runs in and says, oh, don't really fancy this. Hooks up Xie though. Gets the snare down as well. Doesn't commit with the ultimate, but dragging back up in 30 seconds. North left alone in the bottom side. Water Lead seem to have traction over the bottom half, which means not only the bot lane tower, but the dragon that's about to spawn in 20 seconds.
Good rotation, though, from OMG to kind of cover all of their bases when they applied all of their resources to the top lane. Moving Amazing. A little bit unsafe for a second there to that mid-tier tower just to make sure that they didn't lose anything for just quickly cleaning up Aluka.
Xie, though, level 11 now. Going to start ripping through minions when he's left to his own devices. Lichbane, though, for Cool. Going to answer the first early bit of itemization here for Xie. And Water Lead do have to be careful. They still need items on Kassadin. Graves developing there as well, and Aluka sort of a mishmash of tank items to start things off, but Dragon is up. OMG are not rushing straight towards it. Game again, very deliberate pace from both teams.
Xiang will start to walk towards the Dragon Pit now. He has the pressure push into Aluka. Now neither of the top laners have their teleport available. So Dragon advantage and control to OMG with Xiang in the mid lane. Although he's actually starting to go.
Yep, actually backed away. So again, maybe a mixed call there from OMG, as neither team is really committing to this next Dragon here. Would only be OMG's second, while Elite would pick up a first.
They have a massive window of opportunity to go for this Dragon, but North, without mana, has backed for a... He had the Trinity Force complete. That's just a straight misplay.
I mean, it's funny. I feel like the 2 times we've seen Twisted Fate today, it's been really slow starts to these games. Like, no one is going crazy with the Destiny. Xianglin's having a great time in top lane. I want to talk about where OMG are building a nice lead in a lane. It is actually top with Xiang's now.
Yes. Completely agree, but it's now about using that power and that advantage that they have, and it can't really chip away at second-tier tower this early into the game, but you can translate that power of Gnar into a Dragon fight, especially because you have so many walls and so many opportunities to land the big Gnar CC. But OMG, again, sacrificed their early footing on this objective. Teleports will be back and available relatively soon for the top laners, so I expect that's when we'll see the trigger being pulled.
Yep, seem to be waiting for that. Is Cool going to clear out some meaning waves, try and cause pressure here as well, but Xie ready to fight here on Cassin. Conan and Spirit. Going to start the Dragon, maybe. Sets up a couple tunnels, gets the Scuttle Crab. First early vision around the area is going to go to Waterloo, who also seem to have the early play and vision there as well.
With Rek'Sai, it's very easy to get on top of these objectives, but hold on.
Yeah, Loveland getting jumped on. Conan eats the stun. Just a bit of trade. Xie get grabbed. Really nice late hook. Cool. Going to try and stun him up, but Xie gets out with a Rift Walk. Spirit now flashes out, trying to buy time for his team. Aluka has joined in. Xie's getting low. Spirit is dead there as Cool takes him out. They'll look for the next one. Massive ult though from Xiang. Gets a 3-man wall up there as well. Now Aluka getting chased down as North joined the fray. Cool flashes in. Conan's going to go down. Mystic will fall as well. Conan lives actually as he flashes out, but OMG finally play like OMG.
And on the back of Xiang, you said where was the advantage built? It was on that Gnar in the top lane. Unfortunately, WE make a vast misposition by allowing 3 members of their team to get locked up by the Gnar ult. OMG take the mid-tier turret, the blue buff, and surely the Dragon. Yep,
Dragon there as well. OMG get a lot out of that exchange and vault up ahead in gold by about 4,000 gold. And Spirit does not go to the Dragon, does not have a tunnel close enough to the area, and OMG will claim Dragon number 2 for themselves.
I didn't realize Grave in his death animation lays face first on the ground.
Is that the very hard-hitting color point you learned today from Obscure?
Oh my goodness. I wasn't prepared for that.
Well, there we go. Bit of trivia for you playing at home is Aluka.
Micro tip, when Graves dies, he's face first.
Gonna work in on the turret in the top lane, try and open up some gold here for Waterloo. Should be able to get it. Cool. Might be thinking about an ulti in towards the top side of the map. Xiang, though, not going to make it in time. Cool is standing on the wolves. He wants it.
He's looking at the map.
Going to go in. Finds Aluka. He's going to get the stun down. Aluka relatively tanky. Cool needs another stun. Does find it. Amazing here as well. Aluka locked up for so long. Going to try and get a kill, but Cool blue cards him to death. But Waterloo responding with a push in mid.
Pops him with the blue card on the Lich Bane. So again, not the Hourglass itemization. It will be that Lich Bane to empower picks like that, as well as the split push pressure. That said, speaking of split push, Mystic.
Mystic gets a tower on the bottom side, and all of a sudden, towers fall on the sidelines, and we're even on those structures. Gold lead kind of crawls back a bit there as OMG end up 3,000 gold ahead, but Mystic's going to face check everyone else. Does decent damage to North. Conan there in support with Xie and Spirit off to the side. Does mean it's quite safe.
Loveling looking for the cask.
Oh, finds it. Mystic chunked out. There's the ulti there as well. Cool. Gonna look for the stun. Only finds one, but Mystic hooked up by Amazing. As North does get that kill. Now Xie getting out there with the Rift Walk. Gonna get chased in by Corki. Conan slowed down there. Needs to try and run himself away. Loveling will find the body slam. Gets it on just the edge there as North gets a double. And in the top side, Xiang just making sure Aluka can't join in. Continuing to pressure. Got a turret in the top lane as well.
We talked about how Xiang and Amazing were kind of the question marks for this OMG lineup, but they're actually playing the best.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, it's again, you can't expect OMG to change their roster and not have faith in these players. Might have taken a couple weeks, but they're starting to warm up to this roster, and their plays look good. Another hook there from Amazing lands on a Spirit, and he's dead.
Amazing looks fantastic right now on this Nautilus, just hook after hook.
Cool looking for a card as well. Might find Shia, he reflects out. Mystic the next target. Cool wants it. Wants it too much.
He would have popped Mystic like a balloon if he got a hold of him.
Oh, yeah. But Mystic safe for now. Cool does have his ulti, but North happy that his team's buying time, able to take out the tower in the bottom side of the map here as well. And all of a sudden, 9-1 up in kills, 5-2 up in turrets, 2-0 up in dragons, and 8,000 gold ahead for OMG.
Yeah, and it kind of came out of nowhere. We talked about how OMG really struggled with their early game, not being as efficient as possible and not kind of making the most punishing map movements playing to their strength, but Amazing and Xiang, kind of the last two big team fights, putting OMG on their back and getting them back on track.
Yeah, Xiang is the real winner here in this game. 3-0-3 on the Na, and 35-40 plus CS ahead there of Aluka, as Pastry Mouth once again eludes him. Level 14 there, though. He is insanely far ahead.
Cool's build. So we with the Lichbane, so we have more immediate burst pressure, although, as I say this, we're setting up for a fight.
Might be using that build just now. It's cool. Good cast there. Oh, the alley-oop again. Aluka, tanky but not that tanky. Cool will get the kill. Oh, Loveling going in deep. Finds Xiang there as well with a huge nah. And Loveling going to get that kill. It's cool. Destiny's in, but Xie is already dead.
Destiny's in like a flash. That said, OMG now applying pressure. They do have a sizable minion wave approaching them from behind, but I feel like WE have enough wave clear to deal with this.
Yeah, going to be looking for this. Only a few Lichbane hits with the Trinity Force Corky on top of it. Going to fell this tower. Cool wants blood. Goes for Conan. Gets the stun. They'll dive in. Screw the tower. Take the kill. Spirit locked up there as well. And OMG going to get it all. Mystic does kill Amazing, but Xiang's chasing Spirit. Oh, he's just alive. The double actually kept him up with the assist from Dangerous Game, but Mystic might not be so lucky. Saves himself. The tower not so lucky, but the inhibitor will stay standing.
What? Hello, North?
Yeah, forced to flash her away from Aluka.
So
what a weird trade.
This is a weird game. That was the OMG that we expect to see. Immediately approach a tower. Say, tower what tower?
Yep, dive straight in instead. Objectives are secondary.
I feel like
Bloodthirst.
Amazing. I wanted to say Amazing J. Amazing got a little bit confused who was tanking tower aggro because he kind of wandered in circles while he was tanking the inhib tower as opposed to just dropping it. It was, in fact, Amazing going down that allowed Spirit to get the Dangerous Game to survive the chase.
Managed to live there as the third tower goes down for World Elite, managing to get a bit more gold back in their favor. But they are still really far behind, and by that I mean about 10,000 gold.
So let's take stock here.
Sure.
OMG, not the most efficient early game. Did manage to get it going for them in the mid game, however, when they decided to commit to their resources top. Xiang has been playing flawlessly on his Gnar. Fantastic performance. That said, he's against Aluka on Maokai.
Hey man, took his champion.
Hey man.
Gotta show him up.
They translate that into eventual dragon control, but kind of all of the sudden, two team fights cracked the game open. So still showing that they have their team fighting advantage over WE.
I was worried that
I was really worried for a second.
had gone somewhere, but no, back to aggressive play. Snowballing absolutely absurd gold leads here, and Dragon's back up in 10 seconds. Not sure if we'll see a fifth Dragon in this game, but OMG going to make sure they keep on top of the objective. Is cool, actually, in the top lane trying to cause problems.
Again, does have that Lichbane build, so this is what's really empowered this Twisted Fate to do, which is just shred through towers versus the Hourglass Rush that Pawn did last game.
Minions have no chance here as well, as World Elite might just get the Dragon. Cool's actually wandering down. He pops the Destiny. Who's going to get the Dragon? It is Loveling that smites it away. Xia getting stunned forever in the back. Can't do very much, and Xiang now going to go massive. Gets the hop ulti there as he gets a massive stun. And OMG just wiping the floor of the Rift with World Elite corpses. Mystic going to get stunned up. Spirit will be chased, and that's a clean ace there for OMG.
Going who? Xiang is on fire right now with this Gnar. Again, they first picked their solo lanes after the priority of Gragas and forced the surrender.
Wow, 26.5 minutes in, a World Elite say, we have had enough. Xiang goes massive, both literally and figuratively on the Gnar. 4-0-9 to end that game. And Loveling's like, yeah, I don't have to do very much. This game's pretty good. Just chilling on the Gragas.
Fumbled a little bit early. I'm still going to hold that against them. That said, Xiang, the bright spot in everything. Amazing, too. Wow.
Yeah, it's, again, the new players here. Even North had another good game, but I feel like that's more about North